Good morning, bedheads. Click. How's it going today? I chose my peace mug today. It's because I'm feeling pretty peaceful, I have to say, after I just slept 15 hours yesterday. Literally 15 hours. I did get up a couple times, um, but I think it has to do with all of the shadow work that I've been doing, and the body needs to catch up, right? And let go and release and catch up. And so, if you're doing a lot of inner work, or I mean, we're all doing a lot of inner work right now, I think, with just what's going on in the world, right? We're constantly processing all the things, all the changes that are happening. Um, and so, just be kind to yourself, give yourself some peace, um, just, give yourself a chance to chill and relax. So I just jumped right into all of that. But hello, I'm Karen. Nothing like doing an introduction of myself, right? Anyways, this is Coffee with Karen if you're new here. And we just kind of talk about within this particular segment I do in the community, just talking about kind of what's on my mind and doing inner work and relating the stuff that's going on in the world to spiritual growth and our spiritual journeys. And I have no answers. I am just pondering, basically. So that's kind of what I do here, is ponder and facilitate conversation. So all opinions are welcome as long as they're written in a way that is kind and loving and coming from that particular place. Okay. Because I really I want people who are enjoying this community to feel good when they read comments, and walk away learning, like having learned something or having been inspired about something. So that's my goal. Okay. I'm not saying that I always bring that either. That it completely depends on my mood, doesn't it? But or what's going on in the world, like kind of what we're processing. But that's where I'm heading, and I can feel it in my body. You guys, I cannot explain it. I cannot explain how different I am after 1 month of doing what I'm calling, well, just shadow work, which is really just like, is looking and like, what are all the things that have been sitting in me kind of repressed, and I starting to take a look at them. It's incredible. It is absolutely incredible how calm I feel. It's very odd. I'm not used to it. I'm feeling very peaceful, you know? So, and it was fine going through it, but, and I have two more books I'm going to start for myself. Uh, and so, because I want to keep moving, because if this is how I'm going to feel and even like way more, yeah, heck, I'm headed there. So I hope, I can take you along. I hope, I've been, having conversations about this. And if you're wondering, if you are new here, in the spirit circle is where we're doing like real deliberate, journaling and exercises and clearing for what, kind of stuff that's coming up. And so that's where we're doing it. Now I am going to, our team together, I think Lav is working on uploading the videos that I did in the spirit circle. And so we're going to put that whole shadow, I'm calling it Sacred Shadows, together into a product that you could purchase if you didn't want to go into the spirit circle. Okay. So those who still want to have access to it, we won't charge very much for it. So, because it's just really worth people at least giving it some consideration. So very, very cool. Cheers. Click. So yeah, now that I've kind of been through it, if you want to know when that becomes available, I mean, I'll certainly mention things just like I did on the channel, but it's best if you join the newsletter, and there's a QR code right there, and the link for the newsletter is down in the description, okay? So of this video. So it's best if you join the newsletter, because that's, I might mention it once in a video and you might not watch that video and then you'll never hear about it. So, But I'll be sharing all that kind of stuff in the newsletter, among a bunch of other things. So let's just talk a little bit. This is the kind of stuff that's on my mind. And I do have a message from the SGs, which is kind of, I mean, it's always interesting, but this one's particularly interesting. And I think I might pick the rods up. So talk to the spirit guides through the dowsing rods about this message, just to give us some more clarity. So, but I wanted to ask, and I've asked this before, but I'm becoming more and more, I think, well, I'm aware that we may start to see more supply chain issues because of the tariffs. Now, that's because I was listening. There's a trucker that I happened to, I don't know, he came across my feed on YouTube. And so I watched another video from him yesterday. And so the supply chain, we talked about this last week a little bit, but the supply chain issues he's reporting. Now, again, you'll have to research your own facts. I'm just throwing it out there that that's something I heard. And so I'm not 100% sure. I'm like, I don't even know like what specifically are we talking about? Does anyone know? Does anyone know? Is besides like doing things like, long term, like maybe people are starting a garden or increasing their garden. But I mean, what kind of supply chain issues do you guys think we might have is the question. Do you have any ideas of what you think people in this community should start thinking about? The only thing I thought of, like one thing is, well, and there's this balance. Like I'm a minimalist and I would prefer not to have like a whole bunch of stuff that I might need in the future, but I don't need now. And, but you also want to be, smart about it. But it's so hard. Like this is not something in at least my white privileged background or coming up in the United States. And not that everyone hasn't had to worry about this kind of stuff, but I have never had to kind of think about this kind of stuff in the past. So I'm just wondering, do you guys have any ideas about what kind of supply chain issues we might have, or have you heard anything? And then if you could leave, suggestions of what you might be, not necessarily, well, you could stock up on stuff, but like, how are you preparing for that? Oh, the one thing I was going to say, the only thing like I don't have, and I thought, well, I don't have any like canning supplies, and I thought, well, maybe I need to get some canning supplies. And if I never ever use it, like I don't can and I don't have anything to can, I mean, I would, go out. Obviously, we have we have lots of pick a farms where I live, and you can go to the farm and pick your own vegetables and stuff, which is amazing. So I probably would do that. So I guess I need to get some canning supplies, but I don't really want a can, but I will if I need to. But it's just like that kind of stuff. So anyways, what are you guys thinking about in terms of supply chain issues, if you think we're going to have any? Or do you just think like you'll just, is it just the normal TP and coffee type of thing? If you're into that. If you're into coffee, I'm pretty sure you're into TP, but yeah, I don't know. What are you guys thinking about right now? And I just want to have this conversation, not in a way that's like startling or fear mongering or anything like that, because I don't feel that way anymore. Like I am just pleasant. I think it's because of the inner work that I've been doing, but I'm just like, all right, we'll just deal with whatever comes about. You know what I mean? But I mean, if I can, get a few things, and not only that, but if I could stock up on some things that maybe my neighbors aren't thinking about, that it would help the community I live in too. So I don't know. What are you guys thinking about? So like preparation, short term, long term. I am going to so I did a poll yesterday on a letter, coordinating a letter or postcard writing campaign. It could be an email, however, So I'm going to, right after this video, I'm going to go and post for our first we're going to call it, well, it's a community activism idea. Okay. And what I want to do is today I'm going to collect ideas of who you think we should send letters to as a group this week. Okay. So like one idea could be to that judge who was arrested in Milwaukee for doing the right thing. I'd have to look into that, whether, I still have to look into the story a little bit more. I haven't heard, I mean, it's hard to know. It's hard to know if she's actually broke the law. What it appears from hearing from certain YouTube channels is that, they're just telling us kind of what happened, but I don't know if she actually broke the law or if they're, like, they said she was, did you guys hear about this, by the way? It kind of was breaking news over the weekend, the Milwaukee judge. So the problem I have with it, for the amount of information that I have, okay, is that she basically was a judge for people who are doing the right thing. If they're here legally, but they're working on their immigration status. So they have to go to the court, I don't know, whatever, 6 months or every 6 months or whatever. I don't know what that is. It doesn't really matter. But so they go and they do what they're supposed to do. Well, ICE is standing outside now. When these people, my understanding, again, I could be wrong about this, but my understanding is that they're doing what they need to do. And are they actually here illegally if they're going to the court and doing the things that they're supposed to do? I don't think so. But again, I don't have enough information on this, but because there's just so many things going on. So if you guys have more information, let's put it in the comments. But so that now there's people like waiting out. It's like they're poaching. It's like they're poaching, It's like the people they're doing the thing they're supposed to do to update their immigration status, but then they're standing there waiting to catch them. And it's like, these aren't the people that F-45 said that they were going after. He said they were going after criminals and RAPISTs. I mean, anyways. So then the judge was telling these people to go through a certain door so that ICE wasn't standing outside of that door, because basically they were doing something, in my opinion, only if this is the correct story, if this is how it goes, they're doing something that's not legal, And so anyway, so they arrested her, the judge, for interfering, basically, the FBI did. And what's interesting is that the last I heard of this, so Kash Patel, who's the director of FBI, as I roll my eyes, he had tweeted this out. What is up with us tweeting shit? He tweeted this out, and then when the media picked up on it, he took it down. So what's up with that? He tweeted out what they did, like all proud of himself, and then he took it down. That's my understanding from what I've seen on TV, so on YouTube. So, I did see somebody who has a law degree talk about this. And again, he doesn't know for sure because he hasn't seen the filing, like what it is that they said she broke, like how did she break the law? But the fact that they arrested her outside of the courthouse, he said, was all pomp and circumstance. And his sense is that they did it because, F-45's ratings are super low, like 40%. And they also, what else? The whole tariff thing is not going his way. And just whatever, all the different things that, all the court cases that are coming back not in his favor. And so this gave the media something to talk about away from him, because apparently even Fox News has been talking about his ratings and stuff. So kind of interesting, right? So they've been talking about the ratings, and they've been talking about kind of his, all the court cases he's losing and all that kind of stuff. So now it's given them, because they arrested her outside of the courthouse. So it became like this big deal, right? So that's what everybody's talking about. And of course, I'm talking about it now. So, but coming back full circle, like, she could be somebody that if we were to send her, like, if you put this idea down. So what I'm going to do is put the post out asking for the community to give ideas. Please provide, if you give an idea, please provide the address that we should be sending the letters to. Okay, so we're going to do that first. I'm going to collect the ideas by the end of today. Okay, so Sunday, it is the 27th. So I'll be collecting the ideas by the end of today. I want to do a poll that maybe by the end of tomorrow, Monday. So I'll put all the ideas in I don't know if I can do that. They only allow us to do vote on 4 things. I'll have to think about how to do that. Okay, well, I'll look at them. I have to think about how to do that. So, yeah, because when you do a poll on YouTube, they only allow us to do 4 options, which is unfortunate. So anyways, I was going to have you guys say, like, who should we send who should we send letters to? Now you can send letters to all of the suggestions, So yeah, so I will do a post after this, and we'll see how it goes. I don't know, maybe this idea won't work, but I thought if we could get, 1,000 people sending the same letter, or, the same message to the same place, that has power, So, and it wouldn't take much coordination on my end. It's just getting your ideas. You guys have to give the ideas, okay? Okay. I thought this was interesting, and maybe this, has something to do with the message from our spirit guides this week. So David Johnson, do you guys know who David Johnson is? He trans channels, and he has a YouTube channel, and he trans channels. So he allows spirits to come into his consciousness or his body. I don't know how he does that, and then they speak through him. I will post this episode I'm talking about in the description below, so you can go ahead and watch it if you want. But he did an episode with, was it Iron Will? I think it was Iron Will, who was a Native American shaman, like 100 years ago. And so this shaman was trans channeling through David, and talking about the 3 days of darkness, which I have done with the SGs. We've answered questions about the 3 days of darkness here on the channel. I will post those videos. They will pop up at the end of this discussion. Okay, so at the end of this video, they'll pop up at the end. 3 days of darkness. I got to write that down. So, so David was talking about the 3 days of darkness. And videos. He basically is kind of interesting. Basically, in a nutshell, is the shaman was saying that this energy was saying that something will, okay, so you know how for those of us who were born and experienced 9/11 as adults, so there's not everybody maybe here, might have been a child during that time. But as adults, obviously we all remember where we were, right? It was like one of those situations, and it stunned everybody. Like, you just had to, like, literally probably for days, I just sat in front of the TV like this. You just like stunned, right? That's basically how this spirit speaks through Dave to explain what the 3 days of darkness is going to be like. And you could probably say that during 9/11 that we had 3 days of darkness, meaning the world just kind of stopped, like things that were important to us today after or the day before were not important. Like you wouldn't have the same kind of conversations you were having the day before, on September 10th. You wouldn't have the same conversations on September 12th that you had on September 10th. And it really brought everybody kind of to their knees, and where the focus was, right? Where our focus was as humanity. So that's kind of what the gist of what I got out of. It's only 5 minutes, this video that it's really interesting. I'll post it in the description below. So that's how he explained it. There was going to be an event or events that happen that is going to, and he said it's going to be more powerful than 9/11. So I don't feel afraid of it. I actually feel like ready for it. Now, maybe I'll be involved in it, so for me, like, I'm not afraid of that anymore with all the spiritual work we've been doing. It's like, okay, well, whatever my soul contract requires of me that's how I feel, plus the more spiritual work we do, the less and less fearful I am because, I'll just see you on the other side type of thing. You know what I mean? I'll just see you on the other side. Or across the veil, or when we get to the 5D, you'll just see me anyways. I'm just, you know what I mean? If I were to pass in kind of a situation. But unfortunately, he said it's not like world ending, but unfortunately, humans, for some reason, the only way we're brought to our knees is through catastrophe. I don't know what to tell us. I don't know what to tell us, meaning you and me. So, if we all started doing this inner work that we're doing, and many of you have been doing the inner work for a long time, I know that. And I have too, but not to the level that I'm doing now. Just because I have more time to do it. So not everybody has, so I get it. You just do whatever you can. But if all humans were doing the inner work, then I don't think we would need this, whatever situation's going to happen, but we know that's not true. So kind of interesting. I thought that was a really interesting, and again, you could compare it to what the SG said when they answered your questions about the 3 days of darkness. It was the same. It was kind of the same. I know there wasn't going to be 3 days of you're not asleep for 3 days type of thing. Now, if something major happens, it's not that you go asleep, but right, it's almost like it's like a shock state, so that kind of makes sense to me. Like that is the 3 days of darkness, meaning like the stuff, again, like I just said, the stuff that was important to you before is not important anymore, so I don't know, kind of interesting. So speaking then, let's see. So let's now look at what the SG said on the pendulum. Okay, so this is what they spelled out for me this morning. I asked for a message from the collective, all of our spirit teams together. Okay, I said my protective prayer first, and they said this. So take care this week. So I'm going to ask them questions right now. Okay, let's ask them. Let's get to the bottom of that. Well, and then I said, of course, I always have to have a follow-up question. So why do you say that? And they've been saying this. This is not going to be a new message. I mean, you could probably guess what they're going to say right now if you've been watching. Can you guess? Go ahead, guess. Go ahead and write in the comments, guess. So yeah, so take care this week. So is something coming up this week? Now, timeline shift. So I don't know. I'll have to go back to my notes. I don't know. I was going to grab my bullet journal, but I don't know they've been that specific. I don't think that they have ever said like this week, So, but they said, they actually spelled out TRUMP. I just wrote down F45 going down. So they've said that. They said that a couple times last week. But this week they're saying take care this week. Okay. So let's just pull out. I will say the prayer for your benefit. So I close my aura to all but my higher self, the God consciousness, my guides, guardians, and only in all of those of the highest and purest light. And I ask Archangel Michael to please protect this community and this channel so it is also of the highest and purest light. Amen. Okay. Hi, you guys. Good morning. Morning. Okay. So, questions for you. So your message collectively, again, can you please call in? I would like to speak to the collective of all the spirit teams for everyone who's watching this video now and in the future. Okay, so okay, you can tell they're here. There's very wide. Okay, are you guys all here collectively? Okay, thank you. Because if you're new here, I started originally just talking to my SGs, but what's important to me is that you're getting a message, that we're all getting a message from our own guidance, right? So I don't want the channel and the community and the messaging to be just from my guidance, my spiritual guidance. Okay. So I want it to be from everybody's. That's why I do that. Okay, so because you never know, my spirit guides might have a different message. Like if I just ask for my spirit guides to give the community a message, they might say something different than the collective. That's really why. So, is that true, you guys? If I only ask my spirit guides for messages for the community, would you give me a different message possibly than if I asked for a message from the collective? Yes. Okay. So that's interesting. So just keep that in mind if you're doing any of this kind of work. And this is all stuff that I'm just like learning as I go along, facilitating the community. So the discussion. Okay. So you guys said take care this week. Is that correct? Yes. Now, did you mean, and then you followed it up with F45 going down? Yes. So are you suggesting that this week may be a week that some shocking things are going to happen? Like shocking things that actually changed the structure, the governmental structure in a very dramatic way? Yes. Okay. Is there a chance that it won't happen this week? Yes. Okay. But are you preparing us for an upcoming, let's say, event? Yes. Is this upcoming event more likely to be happening in May of 2025? Yes. Okay. That's a little consistent. I mean, that is consistent with what I've been hearing a few astrological people who are looking at birth charts, F45's birth chart, as well as the astrology. So, um, yeah, I watched this one video. I've never seen this gentleman before. He's interesting to say the least. Now, I like interesting, I like interesting. I don't want to say weird because weird is just different, right? So he's interesting, but he talked slightly different than other people that I have listened to. And so I was open to hearing him. And I'm still pondering. I will put the video below for him too. Because he was talking about how and I can't give you the details. This is where I got the gist of it, but I didn't write down the details of it. And I didn't expect to talk about it, so I'm just bringing it up now off the top of my head. But he basically, again, in a nutshell, was talking about how basically F45 is been taken over by a demon, okay? And whether I don't resonate with that, but you could resonate, like F45 has been taken over by very low energy. You could probably resonate with that, right? He just used that word, which I don't prefer that word at all. But he was talking about from an astrological birth chart situation. Okay, so that's where the difference was for me. It wasn't like a religious message at all. It was more about astrology and birth charting. Okay, and so that has happened, and this particular energy, like he had a name for this energy. I can't even recall what it was. He had a name for this energy, and this energy is going to dissolve or be unalived in 2025. And he said when that energy is unalived, then so is F45. Now that doesn't mean, I mean, he didn't say like figurative, it's figuratively versus like reality, like he'll actually be unalived. So, but he said there that May is going to be like, so I don't know. Every month we keep getting the like April is going to blow our minds. And I guess I'm getting less and less shocked by stuff. It's like, okay, I've accepted the fact that F45 is going to do the stuff he's doing. And if you missed the video that I did, I will post it right here. I will post some of the 3 days of darkness videos right here. The one I just did on Friday was basically, I did what I called watch me in real time, deal with F45. And you'll be like, when I got done with that, I was like, oh, like I did it in real time because then I could show you like how I would process something. And I actually had an aha moment at the end of it and in real time with you and really learned something significant for me. And I'll just tell you what I learned was that I no longer, and this is from doing this one exercise that I did on the video, I no longer need to continue watching the day-to-day stuff, which I felt like I needed to do over the last couple months to get a handle on in my brain what was going on. But now I know stuff's going to go on. Like I know what he's all about at this point. I know what his MO is. I know, but so I don't need to follow that. In fact, it's getting very uninteresting to me. What I do want to do is the activism stuff still, right? So pay attention enough. I only want to know like what's the next, I don't have my phone with me, but I'm assuming this coming Saturday is the next 50-50. Maybe I'll talk about it tomorrow. 50-50 action day. It's usually every other Saturday. So that's the kind of stuff I'm interested in and doing like bringing the community, like I'd rather sit and do like coordinate the community activism, postcard writing, than sit and watch a YouTube video on what F45 is doing. I have no interest. So to me that, that's worth my time versus, so that's what came out of that activity I did. So if you have a chance to watch that, you can use that same process for anything in your life that you're struggling with. And but it was like, I literally went through like 10 minutes. And by the end of that 10 minutes, I had this huge, release, understanding, let's just say. So anyways, okay, so let's see, take care this week, huh? So are you guys implying, and this is for entertainment purposes only and allegedly, and understanding that timelines shift, right? Time shifts, things happen that makes time, any kind of event shift. Because there's billions of us on Earth that are making that happen. So when you say take care this week, they didn't say take care of us. They just said take care this week. Are you implying that there's going to be, is there some safety issues this week, perhaps? Yes. Okay. Do any of us in particular need to be concerned about our own safety? No. The only reason I ask that is because to be concerned about, again, I'm so deep in the spiritual work now that I just believe if it's in my soul contract, there's just nothing I can do about it, right? And so why be afraid of something that you know, you're just going to have to deal with stuff as it comes along, you know. That's the beauty of the spiritual work, I think. So, for those of us who will be are we all going to be impacted in some way or another, whatever this event is? Yes. Oh, okay. Actually, I forgot to tell you guys. I did say F45 going down, and I did say how, and they spelled arrested again. And they have been giving us that message. So whether that's how it happens or not, I'm not 100% sure. Now that would be quite shocking, wouldn't it? Probably to the world. And is that the case, you guys? Is F45 when you say going down, do you mean ARR, or you mean arrested? I guess I don't have to spell that word out. Yes. Okay. Is that 100% guaranteed that that's how it's going to happen? Okay, so no. But you're still wanting to prepare us that is it 90% certain that that's going to happen that way? Yes. Is it more than 90% certain? Are you more than 90% certain it's going to happen that way? No. Okay, so there's like a 10% chance that things shift and it doesn't quite happen in that way. Yes. Is he the only one going to be arrested? No. Are more people around the world going to be arrested? Yes. Okay. Okay, so is this event is this what we is going to be very shocking and maybe be considered the 3 days of darkness? Ah, okay, so energy picked up big time on that. So yes, is this the same thing that David Johnson, who he was channeling, the same thing that that entity was talking about, or that spirit? Yes. Okay. Interesting. Okay, well, we'll just see what happens. We'll be here for each other. That's all I know. Now and then, when I asked what card deck they wanted me to use to have a message for today, it's kind of interesting, right? The healing spirits. This one fell out right away out of all my decks. So let's go ahead and just pull a card. The Healing Spirits Oracle. And thank you for everybody who participated in the polls this week about Coffee with Karen. I just wanted to get a sense of, you know, what people were enjoying about Coffee with Karen, and, you know, what you wanted. And thanks for the comments. It seems like for the most part, just, you know, keep it the same. I asked whether I should separate the message, the F45 message. Oh, F45. It always seems to be about him, doesn't it? The pendulum message and the oracles from Coffee with Karen. But as you can see, you know, even today, like there is a connection. It kind of flows, doesn't it? I think for the most part it does. Sometimes it's just like, okay, we talked about this and now it's this, but for the most part I think it flows. So, all right. Okay. So, again, this is The Healing Spirit by Gordon Smith. All right. So do you guys, I've already said the prayer, so I don't have to say it again. So collectively, what message would you like us to have today going into this week? Maybe something about take care this week. Can you give us any more information about that? Anything that would be helpful about us taking care this week? Anything that would be helpful for each of us to process what it means for us to take care this week? They're looking for it. They're whoops. You know, some decks are so interesting. This one is matte finish, so it's not as silky, smooth. Some of the cards are sticking together. I can feel them. Okay, so let me just pull. That one just kind of stayed in my hand, and there was 3 of them. And then there's like, see those? But that's kind of a lot. I'm going to leave them like this and just put them down like that and see if maybe some of these cards they want to have. So let me just see. Okay. So are any of the messages in front of me that you want us to have right now? Yes. Are there any left in the deck that you wanted me to pull? No. Okay. So there's three in front of me, which usually implies a pick three, you guys, when I end up with just three. So do you guys want me, pick one? Do you want me to do a pick one today? Okay. So you have three different messages on take care this week, depending on what number we pick. Yes. Okay. Okay. So go ahead, you guys, and just take a deep breath. Maybe close your eyes and just say one, two, or three in your mind. See if you can just get, intuitively. Don't make it, it's no big deal. You can get a message from all three too. Okay. So just see if your guides have a message for you specifically. Okay. So if you need more time, just pause. So like what I did is I went one and I tried to go to two and three, but I kept getting stuck at one. So my brain didn't go past one or so I'm going to stick with one. Okay. So the card on the right is one. The one in the middle is two. The one on the left side is three. And so this is for group one. Okay. I'll show you the image first. Oh, yikes. This is called Healing Spirit. What's he doing? He or she? Okay. Your spirit guide can lead you, but can't do it for you. Oh, right? Okay, that's a good message. 1, 7. So 17. 1 plus 7 is 8. So that's an 8. If those who are interested in numerology. Okay, so let's see. 17. It's a good message. All right, this book's kind of nice. Look at how nice and succinct the messages are. All right, your spirit guide can lead you, but can't do it for you. There may be many times in this life when you would love to know the outcome of something before stepping forward. Anybody feeling that? You'd love to know the outcome. Yep, certainly would. Okay. Your spirit guide will lead you to each important moment in your life, but only you are able to step up to the experience. Whatever happens, be assured your guide will be there at the end of every challenging episode to support you. So what that's saying to me, since I picked number one for sure, is that regardless of whatever happens, ask for support while you're going through the experience too. They will step up to support you. They are urging you to trust your instincts at pivotal moments. Wow. And when it feels right inside, it's okay to leap forward. Okay? So, very interesting. Okay, number 2s. Are you ready? There's your image. I bet everybody's seeing real different things in that image. What are you seeing in that? All right, the message, send out help to others. This is a 7. Send out help to others. And remember, this is about take care this week. So you might be called to... It's interesting because like this was more about our experience, and then asking for help. This is more about outward, sending out help to others. It's I don't know, this felt a little bit more internal and this one feels external. So it's kind of interesting. Okay. I was open to that page. Excuse me. You can feel vulnerable when those you know and love are in trouble or need help that seems beyond your abilities. This is the time to call on spirit healers and helpers and ask them to send love and compassion to those you cannot reach or feel you don't have the power to fix. Spirit healers and helpers work on a different level, so trust them with this one. Neither distance nor time nor space can create a boundary when it comes to sending the healing power of love. And remember, every prayer for others is blessed by healing spirits. Awesome. So one of the things I've learned in my spiritual journey, and if it resonates with you, take it. If not, totally fine. But when I do intentions or prayers, is to always say and whatever's in my highest and best interest and highest and best interest for all. Okay. Because I don't want to get in the way of other people's experiences, that they're what they're supposed to be experiencing. Now, this might have been a message for those who needed something other than just what the take care this week. That whole take care this week might mean something completely different to you, depending on what's going on in your life too. So it could be a personal message as well as a collective message. Okay, sorry, I showed you the words there. Okay, so this is 3. Those who picked card number 3. Beautiful. Okay. Your life plan is unfolding as it should. Cool. Your life plan is unfolding as it should. So 1 is a 14, which is a 5. So we had an 8, a 7, and a 5. If anyone wants to play with those numbers, let us know what you find. Okay, so 14. There is no such thing as a coincidence. And when you know this, you are ready to look more closely at your life plan. Your spirit guide has already opened the way for you and will give you confirmation that you are truly on the right path. You can ask for that confirmation too. Just say you're open to, receiving messages about that. Synchronicities are their way of attracting your attention and giving you confirmation that you are close to a great understanding. Very soon you will know your true purpose. Very soon. It'll be interesting to see what happens collectively. Like let's just take this message, very soon you will know your true purpose and see how it is that you respond to whatever's happening collectively. We've all been responding lately of how things are happening collectively, right? And so, that's, I think, uncovering a lot of our true purposes. So, all right. Well, I hope this was helpful for you today, and I hope you have an amazing day, and I'll see you in the next video. Okay, bye-bye.